Radhe Radhe Gaura Sangha. I am very happy to have one of the most incredible speakers of these times. And many of you have heard some of the lectures online or the interview that came out on YouTube so not long ago. Many questions are arising about several topics. And one of the most important topics that we will speak in this interview is about the origin of Jiva and from where originally the Jiva is coming. Many of you have heard this idea that maybe Jiva is coming from Vaikuntha or from Golok Vrindavan. Others have the idea that Jiva is coming from Tatastra Shakti, from some external energy of God or Brahman. So we will ask all these incredible questions to Sri Satyanarayana Dasa Babaji Maharaj, who is here with us now. And Babaji, thank you very much for accepting this interview. I am very pleased, and I'm pretty sure that everyone who is watching this video is very excited to hear your words. Thanks for this opportunity. And I want to start with the questions right away. First, I checked your book about the Jiva and Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha not even the leaves fall.
Right. And the book has extraordinary information about not only traditional Gaudiya Vaishnavism philosophy, but some parts that are very clear to only one area of the Vaishnavism nowadays, that is Gaudiya Math Ishkon, that is the philosophy of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And you make several references from Bhaktivinoda Thakur explaining what is the position of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I would like to ask you about this topic exactly. I also thought back in time that Jiva was coming or from Vaikuntha or from Goloka, and we are going back to Godhead, as the slogan said. And I realized lately that this was not exactly the case of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and the main philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So what you can tell us about this, how you can explain this phenomenon?
Yeah, so we all know that Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he has three types of Shakti or potencies, which are called Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti and Tatastha Shakti. So Bahiranga Shakti is the matter, the Jada Shakti, which is not conscious. This is the Prakriti from which all this material universe is manifested. And then the other two, the Tatastha and Antaranga, these are conscious potencies. They are Chit Shakti. Chit means conscious. But Jiva or the Atma, the individual being, is put in a separate category because it is not same, although conscious, as the Antaranga Shakti of Bhagavan, which is Bhagavan's own internal potency. So the Jivas, the living beings, are belonging to the Tatastha Shakti of Bhagavan. So the important thing we have to understand is that Bhagavan himself is Anadi. Means he has no beginning. He was not created by somebody. He is the creator, but he is not created. He is the cause of everything, but there is no cause of him. And because he is a person and he has Shaktis, he has potencies, and he is beginningless, then it is natural that his Shaktis are also beginningless. Otherwise, once upon a time, he was without some Shakti. So therefore, the Jivas are also Anadi, which means that we are in time, we are actually as old as Krishna himself. It is not that once upon a time we did not exist. And he says this in Bhagavad Gita, that there was never a time. This is the first thing he says in Bhagavad Gita, that there was never a time that you did not exist or these kings did not exist, nor will there be a time that we will cease to exist. So we have always existed, we exist now, and we will continue to exist. Because we are potency of Bhagavan, and Bhagavan has no beginning and no end in time. Therefore, we also have no beginning and no end. So now the question comes that what about our situation at present? We are here in the material world. So how did we happen to be in this situation? So Sri Jiva Goswami has very clearly explained this in Paramatma Sandarbha, that the Jiva or this Jiva Shakti is of two types. There are those who are eternally liberated, Nitya Siddha, and then there are those who are Anadi Baddha. So Nitya Siddha or ever liberated Jivas are those who have always been in Vaikuntha, in the spiritual world, and they have never come under the influence of Maya or Bahiranga Shakti of Bhagavan. So they are forever in the spiritual realm. And similarly, there are other category of the Jivas who have always been under the influence of Maya, and they are called Anadi Baddha. Anadi means beginningless, Baddha means bound or conditioned. So the Jivas here in this material world have always been, means it does not have a beginning. The problem is that if you assume that it has a beginning, then either you have to think that Jiva was created at certain point in time, but that is very categorically denied in Bhagavad Gita itself, na jayate mriyate va kadachin, that it is never created, it never dies. So that is for sure that we were not created. Then comes that what about our conditioning? So this conditioning is also without any beginning. It is not that Bhagavan, Krishna, he put us in this situation. If that happens, then question will be asked, why did he do this to us? Or that we did something, then question will come, what is that we have done? So this idea that we fell down from Vaikuntha, this is a very problematic idea, because Vaikuntha, there is no Maya there. Na tatra Maya kimta hare pare, hare ranubrata surarchita. There is no Maya there. There is no Rajas Tamas. There is no mixture of them. Na Sattvam, na Kala. There is no influence of time there. So if Vaikuntha is free from Prakriti and its three gunas of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, then there is no question that we can have material qualities. Means the people who are in Vaikuntha can have material qualities such as envy, jealousy, etc. And then they can perform offense, or they can commit some other sinful activity for which they have to leave and come here. So that is not possible, because Maya does not exist there. Everybody who is in the spiritual world, they are devotees. And devotee means whose awareness is turned towards Bhagavan. Just like people who are here in the material world, their awareness is turned away from Bhagavan. They are averse to Bhagavan. That's why it is so difficult for people to be convinced about Bhagavan or for devotion or to fix their mind 100%, because we have never done this, and our proclivities are to go after material sense objects. So Krishna also says this in his teachings to Uddhava. He says, Anadi avidya yuktasya purushasya atma vedanam. He uses this word there, Anadi, avidya. So Anadi means no beginning, avidya means ignorance, and yukta means united. Anadi avidya yuktasya, or endowed, Atma. Anadi avidya yuktasya purushasya, purusha here means the jiva or the Atma. So he himself is saying that the jiva is having a conditioning which has no beginning. Therefore there is no cause of it. In the material world, we are always accustomed to seeing a cause and effect relationship. But cause and effect relationship applies to things which have a beginning and an end. There are also things which are beyond cause. Everything is not beyond cause. Krishna himself is beyond cause. His Shaktis are beyond cause. So Jiva is also like that. It is very difficult for a conditioned being to grasp this concept of beginningless conditioning, because we are not used to such things. Our understanding is that there are things which have beginning and have end. We perform activities, they have a beginning, they have an end. We see objects which have a beginning and which have an end. And they're all related with cause and effect. But this is a very limited experience. There is a whole realm of existence, the Vaikuntha planet and Krishna, Bhagavan himself, which is beyond that, where these material laws do not apply. So Jiva is also beyond that. The Atma is beyond Maya. Krishna himself also says this is Baddha Mukta iti Vyakhya Gunta Mena Vastuta. Even this bondage and liberation is not within the Swarupa of the Jiva. So we have not fallen down from anywhere, we have not come down from anywhere. We have been within this material creation. And that's why it is called Tatastha Shakti. Because Tatastha means that it is intermediary potency, means it can be influenced by the Bahiranga Shakti because of its Anutva, because of its very atomic in size, because of being very minute in Shakti, it can become overpowered by Maya. And in fact, this itself is very inconceivable, that how is that a conscious living being can become influenced by something which is inert. So this is difficult to understand, but this is how Bhagavatam explains this. He says, Ishwarasya vimuktasya karpanyam utbandhanam. That this jiva is actually free in its swarupa and it is vimukta, it is not controlled by Maya, it is free from that. But it appears or it is in bondage right now. So this is because of the inconceivable power of Bhagavan, this Maya potency. So Maya is also inconceivable, and because this Maya belongs to Bhagavan, therefore it is not possible to get rid of this bondage without taking shelter of Bhagavan. So that's what Krishna says, Daivi hi esa gunamayi mama maya duratya mameva ye prapadyanti maya metam taranti. So this is the true situation about the jiva, the living being, the conditioned being here in the material world. And then these other explanations which are given, they may be given as I explained. I mean, I wrote this book.
Through the pages. And from the same topic, Jiva Goswami explained about the Nitya Siddha and Sadhana Siddha. In the words of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Nitya Mukta and Sadhana Mukta. So it's only one word in the ending, kind of similar meaning.
Yeah, Mukta Siddha is same thing.
Yes.
There's no difference between.
Yes. And maybe in this part it makes some confusion to some new students, like how are some Nitya Siddhas here acting like human, having to do tapasya and other things like the Goswamis, for example, to renounce to the wealth, to go to live under a tree. And looks like they have to be they have to purify themselves. Looks externally, you know, and maybe this creates some confusion that we are like them because we are also doing sadhana. If you can explain a little bit more this topic, that what is the difference there between the jiva like me and the jiva of Jiva Goswami, to say?
Yeah, so we know that Bhagavan comes to this material world. As Krishna says that Dharma Sansthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, that I come to this world to establish Dharma. So Dharma, he gives knowledge, but he does not come alone, he comes with his associates, with his entourage. So this is what is called as Leela. So the Leela basically means, Leela, it means it is not karma. Leela means that they are not under the influence of Maya, although externally they appear like that. As Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, that Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvata. So he says that my janma, my birth, my activities are divya. Means they are divine. But externally they appear like anyone else. It appeared that he also took birth, he was also growing.
Yes.
And then he became young. He also felt hungry. He's doing things like anyone else. So similarly, the Nitya Siddha Parikaras of Bhagavan, when they come in the material world, they also behave like that. Because if they don't act like that, then they will obviously appear extraordinary to everyone else and people will just worship them, or they will think that they are liberated people, I cannot do anything like this. So they perform activities for us to inspire, so that we think, oh, if he could do it, then I can also do it. Like Krishna says, yad yad acharti shrestha tatta devitaro jana. So we need certain ideals, certain examples to follow. One is that I tell you the principle, what you have to do. Another is then I also tell you by my action, behavior. So then it becomes easier for people to follow. Otherwise we will say, well, Krishna is God, so he did it. We cannot do that.
Exactly.
So therefore he has his parikaras, his associates, and they take birth here. Their birth is also divine, their activities are also divine, but they don't appear to be like that. So that we can learn, like a stage actor comes and acts on the stage. So that stage actor is not dying if they're just shooting on the stage, then he does not actually die, but from the scene it will appear like that. He got hurt, the blood is coming out, he also collapses on the ground. So it appears real. And we see it and we learn something from that, because also the purpose of stage acting or the plays is, at least all the Sanskrit plays are there to teach us something. Ramadivat vartitavyam na tu Ravanadivat. So the Sanskrit plays are written on this principle, that how one should act like Ram, behave like Ram and not like Ravana. Jiva Goswami, Sri Rup Goswami also gives principle in relationship to Krishna, that vartitavyam samichadbhi bhaktavat nati Krishnavat. That one should behave like a devotee, not like Krishna, one who desires to be a devotee himself or herself. So therefore when they write plays, they have this in the mind, and then they will depict the principles of bhakti in the form of pastimes, Leela. So Mahaprabhu also came and he did that.
Yes.
So sometimes people ask question like why Mahaprabhu was getting angry sometimes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So these types, because this is his Leela.
Yeah. Krishna also did.
Yeah,
He fight with the demon,
yeah.
wrestling, everything.
So this is how he behaved like a normal child would do, stealing,
Yes.
playing pranks,
Yes.
breaking things. He broke the pot.
Yes.
So he's not that he's just a perfect, nice kid.
No.
He's very peaceful and very obedient and doesn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
Because this is also pleasure of the parents to see a child like that.
Yes. One spiritual leader to say, found a backside door to go. So just do this and you will go, because I found a trick to get to Golok Vrindavan. But this is really not possible just to make it like this. It must be a process, a learning, a purification, as full sadhana, until we start going step by step on Bhav. But what you can explain, is there anything in śāstra that explains that this can happen, that somebody will open kind of a portal and you just go Golok Vrindavan just like this?
Well, I don't know what it means opening the portal, but Rup Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says that there are two types of siddhas. Siddha means who become perfect from here in the material world, and he says there are sadhan siddhas and kripa siddhas. So sadhan siddha we know means those who perform the practice of devotion as prescribed in the śāstra, as given by the Guru. And the other is that they become perfected by the grace of some great devotee or Krishna himself. So, but that is not something usual. The general process, the common process is what Rupa Goswami describes. And he says that bhakti is of three types: sadhana bhakti and bhava bhakti and then prema bhakti. So sadhana bhakti is what we are supposed to engage in if we want the sadhya, which is prema. And bhava is the beginning of that. So everybody has to do that, but there are instances where someone became perfect because of somebody's grace, kripa. So they are called kripa siddha. So I don't know if this opening of the portal means that somebody is so great that whoever comes to him, then he makes them perfected. So that is the only possibility. Otherwise, in general, that is not something, because if somebody is a kripa siddha, it is not that I have to do something about it. So obviously that is the meaning. But if I understand that bhakti is what I want, then I should not simply say, well, I don't do anything and I will become kripa siddha whenever I get the kripa. So that's the prescription in śāstra. This is what Krishna is also saying, manmana bhav mad bhakta. In 18th chapter, when he says that this is the secret, most confidential teaching, that fix your mind on me, become my devotee. So he also did not just give some kripa to Arjuna. I mean, it is his kripa that he speaks to him and he removes his doubts. But it is not that he said, okay, don't worry, you don't need to fight, I will kill all the enemies. Or he touches his head and now all your doubts are removed. No, it was through a dialogue. So this is to show that this is the general process. And he comes for this in this world.
And there, how to put the concept of Vaikuntha as one place that devotees, sadhakas go, and what is called Golok Vrindavan or Nitya Vrindavan as sadhak goes as well. Because sometimes in Shastra, these both words sometimes are like Vaikuntha means Nitya Vrindavan, but there is a difference. So if you can explain a little bit more in depth these concepts, so for the new readers who are studying and they find this word, many of them, they think the final goal where Krishna is in Vaikuntha, and many times they are not aware that this is the area of Narayan. There are differences.
So sometimes one word can have more than one meaning, some words. Just like in America you have New York State and there is a New York City. So the word New York is used for the city and also for the state. And New York City is in New York State. So the name is same. So Vaikuntha is a general word for all spiritual abodes. So therefore it can be used for Golok Vrindavan, Nitya Vrindavan, Dwarka, Ayodhya, any, because it is a general name. And then there are specific names. So abode of Bhagavan Ram is called Ayodhya, or sometimes Saket Puri. And Krishna's abode is called Vrindavan, Vraj, or Dwarka, Mathura. There are three divisions of that. So they are also Vaikuntha. Sometimes they are called Mahavaikuntha to separate them from other Vaikunthas. So just like we have the word Bhakti. So Bhakti is a general word, but then you have Raganuga Bhakti and you have Vedi Bhakti. So both are Bhaktas. So you may not use the adjective all the time to differentiate them. You just use the word Bhakta. Then those who are doing sadhana bhakti, they are also bhaktas. Those who have perfected, they are also bhaktas. So sometimes confusion comes when the word bhakta is used for a nitya siddha and people think it is for a sadhana siddha, or it is used for a common devotee and we apply it to a siddha bhakta. So we have to understand the meaning of a word according to context. So in English also we have words which have double meaning, just like the word well, W-E-L-L. So well means a place from where you can draw water, right?
Yeah.
And well also means good.
Yeah.
How are you? I'm doing well.
Yes.
So I'm doing well does not mean I'm making a well to get water.
Yes, yes.
Why? Because we understand the meaning from the context.
Right.
But if you say I'm going to the well, then it means you are going to that well from where you draw water. So in the same way, the way the word Vaikuntha is being used, we have to see under what context it is being used, whether it is being used to refer to Vrindavan or it is being used to refer to the other Vaikuntha planets of Narayana. So although it is a general word, but it is more commonly used for Narayana Vaikuntha and less commonly used for Vrindavan or Vraja or Dwarka.
Right.
So for them these words are used Mathura, Dwarka, Vraja or Vrindavan, Golok, Vrindavan. So they are all Vaikunthas, but generally the word Vaikuntha is not used for them. But it is also not that it is forbidden to use that word. So therefore whenever, just like when you hear the word New York, so you will immediately think of New York City and not of state, right? If someone says I live in New York, so you will think he lives in New York City, although which is also in New York State. But suppose somebody does not live in New York City and he lives in another city in New York State and says I live in New York, so you may tend to think that he lives in New York City.
Right.
So we have to understand from the context, and although one word may have more than one meaning, but one meaning may become prominent. So in case of the word Vaikuntha, its general meaning is more for Narayana Vaikuntha, means the Aishwarya, the place of Aishwarya. Yes, it is very important, because if we don't use specific word, or if we have to use the word in a specific sense, then we should define it. Just like the word yoga has many meanings.
Yeah.
In astronomy it has one meaning, in Ayurveda it has another meaning, in yoga system it has one meaning, in Bhagavad Gita it has got many meanings.
Yes.
Sometimes Krishna is referring yoga means karma yoga, sometimes he refers by yoga the Raja yoga.
Yes.
So we have to be careful. He also defines this word. He says samatvam yoga uchyate. He says yoga means to be equibalanced. Siddhyo siddhyo samabhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. That is one definition. Another place he gives another definition of yoga.
Yes.
So tatra dukh sanyoga viyogam yoga sangitam. That is another definition of yoga. Even in Bhagavad Gita he is given at least two definitions of yoga.
Yes.
So when Patanjali begins Yoga Sutra, knowing very well that word yoga has many meanings, he defines it, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So that's how he is using the word yoga. Now if you study astrology, then they also have yoga, it has another meaning.
Right.
It means the conjunction of different planets. If you study Ayurveda, it has got another meaning. There it means some compound of different herbs, you mix them, that is called yoga. So in mathematics it means to add things. Yoga, if you study mathematics, then there the word yoga means just adding, like add and subtract. So that should be done to make things clear and not cause any kind of confusion.
That principle also can be observed in that we use the word Krishna, or one name of Krishna, Govinda, just to say, and we are not just speaking about Bhagavan, because for Bhagavan, for many different groups and philosophy will take it as different character, different avatar to say.
Different people may have different understanding.
Right. So when Jiva originally start in Tatastra Shakti.
You see, this question is wrong by using the word original.
Yes. That's true.
So this is what happens many times because we are so much used to this. Our experience in our existence is that everything is happening within time and space.
Yes.
All activities around us which we have experienced, they have happened within the parameter of time.
Yes.
So therefore we have this tendency. So no matter how many times I have experienced this, how many times I say that the conditioning of the jiva is beginningless, then they will say, yeah, so what was the first karma that...
Yes, but maybe I am not having the correct word in English, how to say this exactly, because it's another. Yes, but how to explain, because my question is that our jiva, the fount origins, the source of energy is Tatastha Shakti. Will be that a little bit better?
No, that's jiva is part of Tatastha Shakti.
Yes. Yeah.
So now what is your question?
Yes. So while jiva is part of Tatastha Shakti, this how to understand which area of Bhagavan is this Tatastha Shakti? Because the basic idea is that Tatastha Shakti is like some external energy of Bhagavan.
So now if I ask you, suppose you have poetic ability, means you have the ability to write poem. Right? Those who are poets, not everybody cannot write poetry. You may also have music ability, you know how to play some musical instrument. Right? I heard that you are good at playing some harmonium or some musical instrument. So that is also an ability, not everybody can do that. So now if I ask you, which area of yours does this ability lie?
Alright, I get it.
Which region of yours lies this ability?
Okay.
So in case of human beings, we can still say maybe some part of the brain is there and that's where it lies. But in case of Bhagavan, you cannot say that. Because Bhagavan is akhanda. He is indivisible.
Yes.
Every part of his body is absolute. Although we use the word part, but don't mistake part as we have parts. When we say this finger is part of my body, then finger is finger and the thumb is thumb. What finger can do, thumb cannot do. What thumb can do, finger cannot do.
Yes.
And what my eye can do, that finger cannot do that.
Right.
But in case of Bhagavan, this is not true.
Yes.
Every part of his body can do anything. This is the meaning of absolute.
Yes.
He is an absolute person and therefore everything about him is absolute.
Yes.
So you cannot say that which part is of his body or their Tatastha Shakti is lying. It's everywhere.
So how come that that jiva has no chance to go to the inner area of Bhagavan, to say is having the nature to get to the side of Mahamaya, not to the Yoga Maya, to say?
So this is now very complicated and difficult to understand.
We can try.
What you see, the problem is that the only way we understand things is based on our own experience. We have no other way to experience something. Suppose you have not eaten mango and then you want to understand how does a mango taste. So how am I going to explain to you? I can only point out the taste of mango by pointing out to some other fruit which you have known.
Exactly, yeah.
There is no other way for me to make you understand if you have never eaten it. But even then you will never understand the taste of mango by giving those examples. Because mango has its unique taste. Every fruit has got its unique taste. So unless you eat it yourself, you will not understand.
Correct.
So similarly, all our experiences are material. And that's why we are called conditioned beings. And we think mind, our mind thinks within time and space. Something which is beyond time and space is very difficult to think. That's why that is called achintya or inconceivable. So when spirituality has to be explained to us, which is beyond time and space, it has to be explained in terms of our understanding. Like if I have to explain to you how is the taste of mango, I have to explain it to you according to your knowledge of certain tastes.
Yes.
I cannot explain it in any other way. So therefore, all spiritual knowledge has to be explained in a way that I can grasp it on the basis of my own experience.
Correct.
But actually it is not like that. There is something which is more. Like if I have to give you a picture of a building is actually three-dimensional. The
Yes.
picture is only two-dimensional. So you get an idea of the picture, but actually building and the picture are quite different.
Yes.
It is not wrong if I say that this is the Jiva building. If I point out to a photo of Jiva building, then it is not wrong. But Jiva building is not exactly like this. So even when I say that Krishna, his bodily color is blue blackish,
Yeah.
it's actually not. Ultimately, it is not true
Yes.
because his color is not material.
Yeah. And it's no blue either.
It is not. It is transcendental.
Yes.
But I have to explain him to you, or Krishna or Vyasa has to explain him to us. Vyasa is the one who sat in Samadhi, right? Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranahite male apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha tadapashrayam. So Vyasa had an experience, and then he is trying to explain that experience to us
Yeah.
in our language.
Cool.
So it is very difficult. It's like if I have to teach music to a deaf person. Means a person who has never heard sound. How am I going to teach music to that person?
Yeah.
Sounds impossible thing.
Yes.
So similarly, to teach about spirituality to us who have only material experience, it's difficult. So therefore, it is difficult. So we are explained that Vaikuntha is somewhere there, and below that is Golok Vrindavan is the highest, and then below that is Dwarka, and then there is Mathura, and then there is Ayodhya, and then Jagannath Puri, and,
Yes.
Jagannath Puri is above that, and all this, and then this Vaikuntha, and then there is Viraja river, or there is this Karnarnavi ocean, which is separating, and then there are layers of 7 layers of material elements. Then comes the Prakriti.
Yeah.
So this is because we think in those terms.
Yeah.
But truly speaking, it is just a matter of consciousness.
Yeah.
So just like when you are watching a television, and the television may have 100 channels in it. So you just tune to one channel, and then you are watching that channel sitting in the same place.
Correct.
Then you change to another channel, and in the same screen you see another channel, another place, another movie or whatever, another program. Then you change it. So the screen is same,
Yeah.
and everything is shown there, and everything is here in this air,
Yes.
all the relays. So like that, that's why we say that this Vrindavan is non-different from that Vrindavan. Krishna is still present here. Why we don't see it? Because we are not tuned to that.
Right. On the right channel.
Yes. So that right channel is what we call as bhava.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now our bhava is material. So we see everything material.
Yeah.
Then bhava becomes spiritual. Then here you will see. So the Goswamis would see that Mahaprabhu was going in his inner consciousness. That's what we call as inner consciousness. Then he came out. Then he sees this. Then he goes in.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So he's not just seeing it. He actually becomes part of it.
Yes.
That's why you have the story of Srinivasacharya going and searching that ornament of Radharani which fell down in Kusum Sarovar. Then he was gone for 3 days sitting there. Then when he came out, then he has this betel nut in his mouth.
Yes.
So what does it signify? It signifies that this and that are same, because he is sitting in this body and that betel nut is not from here.
Exactly.
So that means when he went, he actually became part of that. He was not just watching it in meditation like a yogi.
Yes.
He was within it. That's why he could get the betel nut.
Similar with Shyamananda Das.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is changing the channel.
Do you agree that this experience is possible to have in this reality?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because it is here only.
Yeah.
When we say that Vaikuntha is unlimited, you accept that or not?
Absolutely.
So if it is unlimited, it should be here also or not?
Yeah.
And all Vaikunthas are unlimited.
Yeah, the only thought that crossed my mind is that even if that is unlimited, my body is limited.
I'm not talking about body, that's why I'm talking about bhav.
All right.
But you don't see that through this body. That's why when anyone goes into that, they are not aware of this body.
Yes. Yes, I understand the point. Yeah.
Body is limited. This body is not going to be that.
Yeah. 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 Yes.
So bhav, so all the Vaikunthas are here only. Like all the channels are present here.
Yes.
But I will see only that channel to which I am hooked.
Oh, this part of the conversation, the explanation will arise one interesting question. Many will do this question, or they are thinking this question now. So, what happened when we die? If it's only here that we should come to the same place, or we can manifest?
So what does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, that you come to.
Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. He uses the same word bhav, right?
Yeah.
That's what I used. So now whatever is your bhav, that's where you will be.
All right.
So that reality will be for your reality.
Just to confirm what I am trying to ask, means that is then in relation to our bhav, we can get to the place where this bhav exists. It means if my bhav is in the bhav, to say, of the gopas or the gopis or the manjaris, then I will get.
Yeah, either you say that you get to that place, or you say that you become, that place becomes manifest to you. Whichever you want to say.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, because it's interesting, but I am trying to think from all the perspective, all the points of view somebody can think on this topic. Confirm that there is a Nitya Vrindavan, or is only on our heart to say, or is a proper place to say.
Proper place.
Yes.
The proper place. But that place is not dependent on XYZ. Therefore you cannot take a plane and go there.
Right.
The way to go there is by bhav.
Yes.
That's why Brahma Samhita says that even if you travel with the speed of the mind, you cannot reach it. If you travel physically, because how will you reach? You can only enter there by bhav.
Yes. Yes.
But you mentioned mind.
I'm saying that if you travel with the speed of mind without bhav, then you will only travel. You cannot. It's not that you are going to go to Goloka because it is so far away. Suppose I built a rocket.
Yes.
And it has got unlimited fuel in it.
Yes.
And I start traveling up. So you think one day I will reach Karnarna Ocean and then cross it and then I can enter? No.
No.
You will not reach even Karnarna Ocean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you cannot reach like that. It's like I remember the example of the TV channel.
Yes.
That other channel, can I reach it by any other means except that I have to tune to it?
Yeah.
If I don't tune to that particular channel, it's unreachable.
Yes.
No matter what I do.
If I can translate this in like
Short, you are explaining that this state of consciousness are related to our bhav, that we are not waiting to get there, especially we can get there right now. It depends of.
That's why this Siddha Bhaktas, they're sitting here, they see Vrindavan here.
Yes.
Do they go somewhere?
No.
Their body is still there.
Yes.
So, but they tune to that.
Exactly.
And then they are part of it right here.
Yes.
Atraiva praliyante. In Upanishad it said that here itself.
Okay, the original topic was about the Jiva falling from Vaikuntha. And it's evident, and in the Shastra is, and I will link your book that they can buy the book, download to read and to understand the full philosophy about this. That is not your philosophy. I want to clarify this. It's not your idea. All you have been elaborating and taking from Shastra. This is what you are teaching, and is what we are following here as well. If we can achieve Krishna Lila, the Golok Vrindavan, in this very life, there must be a, of course it's not mechanical vehicle, we cannot get a plane or a jet and to go there, but we go in our bhav. It means that we need our spiritual form or spiritual body to get there, to do service, to do seva, right?
Yes.
So this is supporting then the idea of the siddhanta. Right. So what can you explain for the devotees who are already thinking about this? What is this? How you can explain, and from where we get this idea in Gaudiya Vaishnavism that we have a siddhanta, or we need a siddhanta to enter to that dimension?
Yeah, so it is not that you need Siddhadeha and then you enter. These two things are simultaneous. So first of all, it is there in Bhagavatam itself. In the story of Narada Rishi, it says, Prajyamane mai Bhagavatim tanu. So, Napatat panch bhautika. Narada said that my panch bhautika material body fell down when the time came, and he got this Bhagavati tanu, means this Siddhadeha or spiritual body. It was given to him, Prajyamane. Sridhar Swami comments, Prajyamane means Niyamane, it was brought or given. Jiva Goswami also explains it very briefly in Priti Sandarbha. But there are many references to it in Bhagavatam itself, although they are not very clear. But I have mentioned them in my book called Jiva-ttatva. So there is one section where I have given practically all the references from Bhagavatam.
Yes. With your permission, I would like to ask if I can translate reading to Spanish your book.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, big kripa. Babaji, I want to thank you in name of everybody, all Kali Jivas who will watch this video. I'm sure it will be very beneficial for everyone. So I want to thank on name of everybody for accepting this interview and for giving your time for us to explain these topics that are transcendental and so interesting. Thank you, Babaji. I will link all your material there so that everybody can find your work, your katha, and also to tell everyone that Baba is giving classes every day from 8 to 10 p.m. in Vrindavan, and you can join his courses, his classes online through Zoom. So for that, you must visit the website jiva.org, and from there you can log in and sign to the classes of Babaji. It have a fee, yes, but the knowledge that you will learn every day is really, really incredible. That's why I am doing this video right here, because I want to show this opportunity for everybody who understands English. This is a big, big chance to study Shastra and the text of our heroes of Bhakti. Thank you very much, Babaji.
Thank you.
Dandava pranams in name of everybody here.
Yes,
Radha Shyam.
Radhe Radhe.